I did a little bit of pre-research, so I'm all set for bits and pieces and factoids, or
Hold it. You did some research
well, I
before
mean,
this?
I try to have descriptions if I can find one online. I try to get the description, and then we're ready
Very
to go.
professional of you. Oh, good.
Oh yeah, if there's one thing that we stand by around here, it's professionalism.
Well, yeah, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Week after week.
God. I mean, we are
Never mind.
okay. We are in episode
6. Episode 200.
225. So this is week 225. Subtract
Not
about
bad,
14 for yourself from the beginning, and then that's how long I've been. So you'd think, can I get something right after 225 times doing it? Isn't the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing expecting different results?
But you get different results.
I do.
You
It's
get different
totally
results.
chaotic. So maybe that's part of it.
Yeah. That's quite part of the fun of it. You never know what you're gonna get. It's like life is like a box of chocolates, mate.
It is
We were
just-
talking about Spielberg movies.
Exactly.
before
It's
we
just
came
like
on. Now
that
we're doing-
movie,
now we're
Schindler's
doing
List,
Forrest Gump. Yeah.
where
Exactly.
where Oscar Schindler says that to Stern or Stein, his assistant, played by
Life is like a box of chocolates. Is that what he says?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't
Oscar
remember.
Schindler says that to Stein, who was his assistant, the Jewish
Right.
assistant who was there in the camps with him and was played by McKelty Williamson.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
how come no one's merged those two movies? It's not even the same director. Anyway, we'll
Absolutely.
get going. I am Ross. Joining me, of course, is my co-host Ian, and together, describing the many plots of Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg movies, we are attempting to drink Nova Scotia Dry. Do I usually say attempting? I'm now questioning everything I ever do or say. I have been hit. I have been punched in the self-confidence gland, and it's making me question everything. Because last week, the sound screwed up so much on me. But even with the sound screwing up, I will say, I had a great time. It was great to catch up with Zenon. It was great to sit out on his deck. And man, those beers from Backstage Brewing were delicious. I always want to start with an S because it's the brewery in Stellarton. So I want to say Stellarton Brewery, but it's Backstage Brewing in Stellarton. So I start with S, and I start saying Sac Vegas. No, that's Sac Vegas Brew Company down in Sackville, Nova Scotia. Regardless, hello.
I did catch the last sort of 10 minutes of your. I went for a break and I came and I went live, and you'd been on for about an hour with your friends in it, and I thought, well, I can see him. And I can certainly hear you. And you were laughing like drains. I thought, oh, maybe I should turn my phone down because it sounds quite loud in the break. I thought, oh, that's not my phone that's doing that. And I thought, mate, I think maybe this might be a little audio issue. But like you said, you had a good time. You were both hysterically laughing. So that beer was doing something to you.
Never had a better time. We've always had quite a good time when the two of us get together. We've known each other. I think we were going over the math. We've known each other for 26 years. This fall will be our 26th anniversary of meeting each other.
Well, you are brothers.
Effectively. I mean, I've adopted many brothers over the years. I have several dozen siblings. It's a fairly large family. It's about the same size as Nova Scotia. But regardless, we didn't quite. Cause I did have some interesting ones that we wanted to try, and there's some other interesting ones. But there is a couple in here that I wanted to talk about. So I am glad that we decided on what are we going to have tonight is some lagers, and they're all German lager. And I did say German lager, but one happens to be an Austrian lager, because Vienna is in Austria, as we all know from watching or being forced to watch Amadeus by our father a dozen times in the 90s.
Forced to watch?
Well, the first time I was forced to. It was the only thing on. This was back when we only had one television in the house, and when there was something on, that's what everyone watched.
It's a fantastic movie.
I was young and maybe didn't appreciate it fully the first half the way through that I was watching it, but
Beautifully
dragged me into it. And
the music wasn't bad either, as it happens.
I don't know. I thought the music was sort of the low point. I'd never really heard of much of it. Found it a little.
We should cover that.
It dragged a little. I thought. Regardless.
You're probably right.
But that's the second one. That's the Vienna one. So going by percentage, we've got one from North, and we actually have two. So the Vienna and the German, and a German lager from both from Paddy's brew pub. And I'm sort of, do we do two from the same one? And I'm like, yeah, because when are we ever gonna get another Vienna lager? I mean, the fact that we've got a other German slash Vienna lager out there is quite impressive. But here we are with the well read German lager from North Brewing out of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Yep, there it is. And it does say German lager around the whole way. And then, is there anything else really on the front? Yeah, 4.5% alcohol by volume. There's nothing really on the can itself. Just it's got those the three word that you try for: crisp, balanced, and curious. I'm never sold on their choices for this third word that they like to use. However, luckily,
Curious.
over on their
Is that
website,
what it says?
yeah, curious is the third word.
Interesting.
Try this curious beer.
I can't wait to try that.
You
Curious.
might break out in hives. You might
Yeah, I'm all
not.
over curious beer. Let's go.
Break out in full-on curiosity. But over on their website, northbrewing.ca, we have the well-read German lager. We approached this brew using Helles Lager as a style guide and made a couple of our own tweaks. It includes primarily Pilsner malt, as well as some German chit malt and a bit of wheat, hopped with German noble hops. Crisp and dry, with a solid malt backbone and a touch of hop bitterness. Because as I'm learning, a German lager, or perhaps also a Vienna lager, but I thought a German lager basically means it is a little darker and brings the malt profile kind of along for the ride, so it's maybe a little maltier than just your generic lager. Although this is
The Vienna lagers are certainly a little more a little darker than the classic lagers we'd recognise, and they're a little more coppery, a little more ambery, the Viennas, rather than the Germans, which can be a little... Well, in fact, so many German lagers can be different colours. They've got so many different kinds of lagers that the Germans brew. The Vienna lager, though, is going to be, I reckon, a little redder, a little amberyish. Amberyish? Is that a word? Amberyish.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll take it. I did actually get to enjoy the Dortmunder. I have had one of those already. Several weeks ago, just kind of on my own, it was just kind of a one night, what did I have? And that was the only thing I actually had on available. So I drank it, and I'd been drinking them because I was in the establishment, the Paddy's establishment, for a Monday night open mic a few weeks ago. And the brewer, the new brewer, Rob, he sat down next to me, and I've known him through other things. This is the first time that I knew someone before they were the head brewer. And we yapped about beer for a very, very long time, and he got me to try the Dortmunder there. So you'd think I'd have more to say about it, but I probably don't. This is very golden, light looking, kind of standard lagery smelling. So I'm not sure what makes this one a German lager. Are the flies bothering you?
You said it was wheat. It was probably it got a touch of wheat to it.
Yes.
So it might be more like one of their Weissen beers.
It might.
Maybe a bit of a crossover, maybe. It's got a classic. Oh, snorted foam. Don't do that, Ross. I don't recommend it.
Well,
It's going to burn my scroll burn.
To each their own.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet, isn't it? I bet you it's going to be. Yeah.
Bit of the
Smells
course. It's like
great.
Pilsner, Helles. It's styled after the Helles lager. Wish I had one of those as an example. Cheers? All set? Or how's it?
Cheers. I am. Skål. Prost. Oh, that is sweet. And it is very bready right off the bat, very yeasty.
But
you
light.
know what?
The 4.5, the body is quite light, so it's
Yep.
drinkable, very easily drinkable.
Very refreshing. Gosh, and rarely have I looked forward to a beer as much as much tonight, Ross. There was one thing I would not have said when we were looking earlier on and saying, what should we do? And I dropped that little bombshell beforehand and saying, I don't think I can get to you. Anyway, but the things that we were talking about, lagers all of a sudden seemed extremely inviting because it's another 32-degree day.
Yep.
It was hot as all hell in the valley, and it's sticky and blech, and a cold lager straight out of the fridge to me seemed like a perfect idea. And this is not messing about. This is good.
You said you were over the Gasborough Valley. Now, was that voluntarily or reluctantly?
Oh no, totally. No. Rebecca's dad lives there. We were barbecuing in the Gasborough Valley,
Yeah,
and it's often even a little warmer.
It is.
Wine Valley,
even more
as you would know,
stifling and damp and hot than over here. And it was so I was happily hiding down here in my basement, or I'd go upstairs and sit next to my air conditioner, and then I reluctantly drove to Windsor to pick up my daughter from work in my non-air conditioned car, and that was hell.
That's nasty, isn't it? Yeah. Air conditioning. My air conditioning blew up in my car about 5 years ago. I may have mentioned this to you. And then I went and got my primary assessment done on how much it's going to cost to get a new air conditioning unit for my car. And then when they quoted me $1,700, I thought, well, I guess I'm going to be uncomfortable for 2 or 3 weeks of the year because I ain't paying that much.
Yep,
the car's barely worth that. Yeah,
it's the same as happened to me.
Yeah.
Question: is the whole thing destroyed because Brittany's car, her air conditioning stopped working, but her dad effectively just pumps up the air compressor, just fills it again, and then her air conditioning works for several, like a week or so. So we've done that before a long drive. Before we knew we were going to Antigonish, she got it. It was all fixed up. Would that?
I have heard something very similar, only very, very recently, from another friend of mine whose dad was a mechanic in the city, and he said that's exactly what his dad is. He says, don't take. He said, get a second opinion. And I'm like, well, that was 5 years ago, and I took it to a certain place, and they professionally had it. They were proper mechanics, so they told me, and the whole thing was shot, and it was going to cost me $1,700 and something. So I just gave up on the idea. I think about it again because you're the second person that's told me that, and it is hot as all hell, isn't it? For a month at a time here in the summertime, and you don't want to get in the car.
I used to complain, not complain, but I would do the reverse complaint whenever people would say, you don't have air conditioning, and I would say, I only need it for about 2 or 3 days a year. And I used to. But now that we've entirely cooked ourselves a pandemic later, then I feel like, we're on our, third heat wave of the summer, and it's not even August yet? This last 3 days?
It's a hot one. Next month is the big one. The big hot one.
Late July, early August, I usually say, is these next few weeks. It's the really uncomfortable nonsense down here. So, bottoms up. This is the fuel. This is the only cure.
What do you think of this?
I would definitely say that is a lager. When I drank it, and you can sort of tell that it's lagery. I get where it says Pilsner hops are in there, and I'm like, okay, or no, what was it? Pilsner malt or Pilsner hops?
Noble.
Pilsner malt. And a bit of wheat using a lager hopped with it. I couldn't tell what kind of hop it was, but I can definitely taste a little bit of a wheat and a little bit of Pilsner and a lager at the base end. So I think this is doing exactly what they're telling you it's going to be doing. I was hoping and expecting as a German lager to be a little bit cold, or not colder, but darker and maybe a little bit more flavorful. But for a 4.5, it's also quite light, really easy to drink, very crushable.
I think this is more of the Helles version. I don't expect it to be, unless it was going to say it was going to be a dark one or a Dunkel or a Märzen or something. Some of those ones that they drink in the Oktoberfest. But I wasn't expecting it to be anything other than what it is, which is more like a Pilsner to me, or a Kolsch maybe. So, and it's very, very smooth. It's very easy to drink. This is a bit of a session ale, Ross. I have to say it, and it's
for sure.
It's really cold as well. I think this is really smooth and well balanced, and it's got no lingering taste. I sometimes find with some of the lagers can be a little bit. This doesn't have that. I'm enjoying it. Flies everywhere.
A Dunkelweizen is a dark wheat ale, while a German lager, sometimes referred to as a Munich Dunkel, is a dark lager. And it's
but those are Dunkels again. No, those are dunkels again, Ross, and we can't confuse the two because dunkel literally means dark. So this isn't a
What's a
dark
German
lager.
style
This is a
dunkel?
lighter
Okay, so
lager. It's
beer in
a
Germany.
hell. It's more of a hell, which is a lighter lager, that's what this probably is. It's the hell version rather than the dunkel, which is, well, they're still lagers, and they're still bottom fermented and cold fermented, but they're not. But this is the lighter one.
Pale golden
more like
German
a
lager, often referred to
Yep.
as the session beer of Bavarian beer gardens. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Pale golden
makes sense.
color. So
Mm.
I love that it can say, "Oh, is it a German lager? What kind of German lager is it? A dark one or a light one?" You're like, "Well, I thought a German lager made it dark. You don't do that. Like, oh, well, this is a light dark lager. Come on, figure it out."
No.
And it's
No. There's lots of different styles of lager, aren't there? And this is just a lighter.
so many damn
Go
stuff.
away
And this,
from me.
it's usually little snippets of conversations like this that I bring up whenever someone says, "Oh, have you tried comparing ciders?" And I'm thinking, I honestly think we could make it 6 weeks on ciders and then just basically say, "Yeah, it's another one of those." I
Yeah,
I
it
don't-
doesn't have the variety,
I don't want to
maybe.
piss
No.
all over ciders, but I don't feel like there's as much of a broad taste rainbow option than
I'm with you.
beer's so much more interesting.
Cider drinkers, cider aficionados. What's the cider equivalent of a beer expert? We're neither. But what would be the cider equivalent? Obviously, a sommelier is the old winey, and as we found out, our beer taster is called a prodrome, is it not? But what would a cider person be? Because they would probably argue the opposite, that there are probably 1,000 different styles and flavors from cider as well. But whatever, we don't agree.
I looked it up, and we have looked this up before, and I couldn't remember the name. I could remember the other one. So sommelier and beer sommelier is a cicerone, but then that's somewhere else. That's a beer expert somewhere else in the world. But the one here in Canada or North America, or at least East Coast Canada, is a prud'homme.
Right,
But
prud'homme is
a
it, right?
cider expert is a pommelier.
Oh yes, that's right. Hence the potato. I was going to say potatoes, pomme de terre. Hence the apple thing. That makes sense. But of course, what we're talking about here is that you can make cider with practically anything, can you? I think. And I mean, I don't know, but the amount of fruit ciders there are all over the place now. Not just apple or pear ciders. There's loads of different.
I feel like it's most often like an apple base, though, isn't it? Could you make like a 100% peach cider? I'm not sure. You usually make an apple cider and then add it. Oh, now we need to get some pommeliers onto this show.
This is not a cider.
This is not my favorite thing ever, but I have to give it very top marks for doing exactly what it's meant to do. I think this is for a German lager. This is 9 out of 10 country, I think.
I like it a lot. It's very refreshing. It absolutely trounces the mass-produced lagers that you can get in your happy high street pubs. And it's a craft lager. It's way tastier. It's way more balanced. It doesn't have any nasty aftertaste. This is a really good session lager, and I'm not a massive lager fan either.
No, that's true.
I like it a lot. I could drink. It's got a. Hang on. Let me have one more sip of it.
Heck.
It has the same session ability, I think, as that wonderful gold. Gosh, what's it called? I forgot the name of it already.
Toller.
You introduced Toller Gold. Thank you very much.
There it is.
Toller Gold. It has the sessional ability of that. And if this was 5%, I'd probably say, I might even said, at the next 100 shot challenge, I'd probably do some of this. It's really good. I like it.
I think. Oh, that's a good point. Can you still get this? Yes, this one is still available. Woohoo!
Well read. Well read.
It's one of them at least is still available, either in the NLs and the Nalesics or the North Brewing locations, both Timberley and Dartmouth.
Excellent.
Paddy's Brew Pub in Nova Scotia, up here in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, well, the next town over, is in celebrating their 25 years since 1995. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, oops.
Is this 5 years out of date?
Five years ago.
Right.
I mean, I'm not sure this one's available anymore. I don't think I don't. It's definitely still not on tap anymore. Here's the thing that gets me. They called this one the Zhergoot. Zhergoot.
They're good. Yes. Yeah.
Vienna Lager, Vienna of Austria. So it's an Austrian lager instead of a German lager. It says Vienna Lager down at the bottom. Zhergoot,
Okay.
side of the can, 5.0%, a classic take on the crisp, easy drinking lager style from Vienna, Austria. Copper in color with a malty aroma and a subtle toasted malt sweetness.
Lovely.
Yeah, celebrating their 25th anniversary, so we may have been sitting on this one for quite some time.
I don't think that's been in my fridge for 5 years, Ross. That would be ludicrous.
I don't
Although
think so
lager-
either.
No, they do hold on to their flavour a little more. They won't go off quite as quickly as their darker, more malty beers. But this is maltier. The old Vienna lagers are a little bit darker and maltier than the lighter Germanic pale lagers. So I don't know. Hopefully this is still okay. I don't think Paddy's didn't do these kind of covers, did they? These beer cans until not too long ago. They were all still doing those
recently,
silver.
you know, that's for certain.
Yeah, I think that's no. I don't think this has been there all that long. Maybe been there a year or two, but no, certainly ain't 5 years. Because you haven't even been doing this thing 5 years. So I think that's impossible. Impossible.
No, so it might have been tail end of the batch or something like that. Or,
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Some sort of reason behind it. When I opened it up to let it breathe, the foam decided to foam and
Yeah, it's done that.
it did not calm down. However, here is the color.
Having said everything I just said, I just took a swig off the top. Tomato soup.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that's a shame. Well, on the bright side, it's no longer available at their locations. So,
Right.
oh yeah,
And
we might have let
colour.
that one go too long.
I think you're probably right. This is gonna be a real waste because this is a ruby stroke amber.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's. I think you're right. I think it may have gone. I'm going to take a swig of it though, a proper swig, for the heck of it.
There.
Yeah, it's gone. Sorry about that. As yours? Mine's got gazpacho soup.
It is. Oh yeah, it's got the tang of the tomato, the acidic tomato.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you leave them in there too long.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we try to get to them.
But Paddy's does have another one, which is quite.
They do.
useful.
They do.
And then,
So that was one that was going to be their Vienna one. But that honestly, I think that the Zhergoot it goes back to, if not when Chris was the brewer, it might have been pre-Chris who got in
really?
there. But I
Holy
think
crap.
I'm now trying to remember if this Dortmunder one was a Rob or a Chris. So I'm not quite sure, but I think the Dortmunder is still available currently at Ye Olde Paddy's. I mean, the only thing that I wanted to mention additionally on top of the Zhergoot was that word doesn't exist. I don't know where they got it for the name of the beer.
May I?
Go for
May
it.
I go in there? They're good. Literally just mean it would be GUD. It just means very good. It's just a bastardization of Zhergoot, which just literally means very good.
Okay, because I did try looking it up, and when I looked up the word when I looked up their actual spelling of it, there are only two different internet results. Two. One is a menu for Rosie's Restaurant and Paddy's Brew Pub. Something about Zhergoot. And then another one from September 2023, Pints and Plates. The recipe for Paddy's Pub at Apple's Lobster Dip. Add half a cup of Paddy's Brew Pub Zhergoot Vienna Lager and bring to a boil. So they're the only two instances of Zhergoot. I thought I had... Maybe I don't.
Anyway, it looked.
I was gonna touch
Flavor, I believe, as I remember, was Gout, I think. But sehr just literally means very and gut. So, because of course Germans would say sehr gut when something is very good. So I just think it's a like I say, a kind of play on a play on words. And gut was a flavor, was Gout, but this isn't spelt the same way. So I think it's just a bit of fun with words, because if they haven't explained it. He does say a classic.
Zhergoot, Sehr space Gut, Zhergoot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Anyway,
very very close. I think you're right. It is the most correct you can possibly be at the moment. And so, and yeah, we'll have to apologize for that one. Can't take that one seriously. It's been in there definitely way too long. I love the color on that so much. I wonder if there's any point.
No, I know, it's a shame, isn't it?
Trying to get any kind of boozy concoction out of that. However, shall we move on?
Yeah, that kind of ruins the chances of playing. You know, we played 5 famous Belgians a little while. We could have played 5 famous Austrians then, but we still could. But there's only maybe sort of 3 or 4 that I can think of that come to mind, and one of them's not very.
Probably mostly composers, are they not? Mozart? Beethoven?
No, he was German.
Oh.
He was German. Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, was very famously from Austria.
Oh, was he?
And then he said, "I'm from Austria." Good day, mate. Put another shrimp on the barbie was the Dumb and Dumber joke about Austrians. This fly is going to kill me. We've got Christoph Waltz, one of our favourite. He's also in a German war movie as well. There's a real war theme to this evening. It's a bit of a
Christoph
shame.
Waltz. Okay, yeah, I know him.
Yeah. And of course, Hitler was quite famous, and he was very warish. But he batted for both sides, didn't he? He was Austrian, yet he was sort of playing for the Germans.
Yeah, he was born Austrian, I believe. I feel like we've looked this up before, because the famous Austrians include Sigmund Freud, Strauss, Haydn, Mozart, Schubert, Mendel.
Bunch of Austrian.
Lots of composers, right. And then Schwarzenegger and Waltz are in there. And who else? Not really many other.
Was Gerhard? No, he was German. Niki Lauda, very famous Austrian motor racing guy from the 70s. I can't remember too many. Probably a bunch of skiers, a lot of skiers. You probably wouldn't know about them because you were massively into your baseball.
I watch the Olympics sometimes, but I certainly don't. I'll tell you, I only remember one skier's name, despite the fact that Canadians did rather well in the freestyle for a few years there in the late 90s, early 2000s. But there was one
skater.
There was one skier from the United States. And she was, the alpine, the downhill fast stuff.
Yeah.
But the Canadians did well in the short ski stuff with the flippy and the moguls and the whatnot.
All right, freestyle. There was freestyle.
Yeah, there was a few of them. There was one year there was like 4 of them, and they were called the Quebec Air Force because they were so good at the flippies and the whatnot. It's a very clever title.
That's clever.
I don't remember any of their. No, wait, there was a Jean-Luc Brassard.
Austrian? Or are you going back to the French-Canadian ones now? I thought we were talking about Austrians.
No, I was trying to think if I knew any famous skiers. And I only know one from America. But apparently I also know Jean-Luc Brassard, who was the Canadian freestyle skier. And he was... Did he win gold? I don't remember if he ended up winning gold.
Franz Klammer was huge.
He did win the gold. 1994 gold for Jean-Luc Brassard. I should probably remember this stuff. But in those years, there was a downhill skier, an alpine skier from the United States, and her name was... Are you ready for this? Peekaboo Street.
Yes, I remember the name.
Was her name.
Yes, Peekaboo.
And you don't forget a name.
You don't get many of those.
No,
that's true.
Anywho, Dortmunder. The Dortmunder German Lager, again from Paddy's Brewing. This one is a little bit more up to date because I believe it's still available in the brew pub itself at 5.5%. And if you read on the side of the can, because there's nothing online, here's a new one to quench your never-ending thirst for authentic German lagers. This time we will will be taking a trip. Whoops.
Well,
This time,
Whoa.
we will be taking a trip to the northwestern German city Dortmund, a city whose history is rooted in the German Industrial Revolution and good brackets European football. This is a beer suited for enjoying during sports matches and after a long day's work. Prost. Huge grammatical error in the middle of that. I read it over several times. It needed an extra look. But...
Yeah.
Like I said, I was sitting in the pub with the brewmaster Rob, who I'm still trying to get on this show, but we're having email difficulties because they have different emails. And he said, "Give this one a whirl," and I did. And in the pub on draft, I went, "It's all right." But he handed me a couple of cans on his way out the door. He said, "Here you go, take a few extra of these cans." And I said, "It's free beer. I'm not going to say no." And I had one just a couple of weeks ago, and I drank it, and I went, "This is delightful. This is really good." So I'm hoping that the second can does the same thing. It is somewhere in the middle of, so there's the light gold, and there's a slightly darker, the amber gold. Not quite the delightful color of the unfortunately undrinkable Zhergoot. But
This is more. It looks more the color of a Vienna Lager. Weirdly, so this might be maltier. Does it? Oh, you've just read all that, and grammatical errors included. City. It's
Industrial Revolution,
flavor profile?
Football, sports, long day's work, authentic German lager. No, nothing else whatsoever.
Didn't mention the flavor. Didn't mention the malt profile or whether or not it's hoppier or maltier or sweeter than. I would expect it to be not quite as sweet as the lighter version, maltier but not quite as sweet. Possibly. There's a possible, and I expect and might be. So I'm doing that fence sitting thing, then I cover all bases. Shall we find out togevs?
Yep. Have at you.
I've got it.
I tried looking up Dortmunder, but it's apparently just from a town. So it's the Dortmunder from Dortmund.
Yeah, Dortmund. It's in the northeast of Germany, in the Rhineland. It's gorgeous. I like the finger of froth on this.
The head is gorgeous. It's really doing its thing, doing the business.
It looks like an English ESB color and get off of me.
It's
a
lovely amber.
I'm ready.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Good.
I see what you mean.
Yep. In the can, I adored this flavor.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Because it's a sweet. It's almost caramelized. It's just
I'm surprised how sweet that is actually, and but it's got a very subtle bitterness, fruity, as well. It's really good. It is more like an ESB than a lager. Weirdly, it's got a maltiness and a slight.
It's like a malty pub ale.
Yes.
Well, and at 5.5, this is a strong pub ale.
Is it Dortmunder? I mean, they're calling it a Dortmunder German lager. Dortmunder, I don't think is a style at all, unless you know something that I don't. So I think it's just the name. They're just giving it a name. But that is really tasty.
It is.
And it's more like you say, more like a... I mean, you do get the darker, maltier lagers. This doesn't taste like what you'd expect a generic lager to taste like.
Like if I was drinking 3 German lagers, I would be thinking, okay, this is just going to taste a little less preserved than Heineken. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I like that flavor as well, but moving over towards the smooth malties and the.
Did you say they've still got this on draft in Paddy's?
I'm pretty sure Dortmunder is still the business.
Right. Well, if with all the sort of 8 or 9 other beers that they do at any one time, I would not typically. I would just completely fast pass this if I was looking at the list of beers that are on offer at Paddy's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe I'll be doing them a disservice, to be honest, because this is really good.
So here you go. It on their website right now. Feature beers, blah 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 blah. Oh, and they got an English mild. That's the 2.9. I did try that. It was pretty good.
We had that, didn't we? We had that.
Dortmunder, also called German Export, is a style of German lager not as crisp as a pilsner, but moderately hopped and malty. 5.3%. 5.5 on the can.
So it is a style. It is a style of lager, a Dortmunder. Interesting. And obviously, it must be from Dortmund itself. Otherwise, they wouldn't call it.
Dortmunder is a German-style lager, also known as a Dortmunder Export, originating from Dortmund, Germany. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. It's characterized by a balanced malt and hop profile, typically stronger than a Helles, but less hoppy than a Pilsner, known for its crisp, clean finish and subtle notes of malt sweetness and hop bitterness.
It's delicious. Well, I'll tell you what. Is it doing all those things?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's banging.
It?
It's banging that out there. That's doing the thing.
Mm-hmm. Then I might be. If I'm looking at having a lager, Ross. If I'm having a lager, I might be having a Dortmunder. Because even though the well-read from North was really good, it was like a very smooth traditional lager for me, but better than it was. It was a craft lager. It was way better than the mass-produced stuff. But this is, when we get those IPAs and we please take away the hazy mold, the fruity stuff that we now love. But when we are reading the Pleasant Disposition, for example, when we're talking about an IPA having a maltier backbone to it, I really love that, and I really love this. It's almost like it's not a lager, and that's almost like that isn't an IPA, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I mean, and it's the kind of thing, do we like it more because it doesn't taste just like a standard lager? But I feel like once you start adding things onto it, you're getting away from this is a lager.
Mm.
Like, yeah, this is a German lager. Ooh, this is a Dortmund German lager. Now we're talking. Yeah. And if you keep adding prefixes and descriptors onto what you're drinking, you say, now you've moved over into the okay, now this is flavor country that I can get into.
So traditionally, I would be saying, I'm not a lager man at all. I'm a real ale man. I'm a darker ale, stouts and porters, and so I would say I'm not a lager man. But clearly, I was being naive. Because there are a multitude of styles of lagers, and if Dortmunder is a style of lager typically associated with all those things that you just said, and this is a really good example of one, then I'm a fan of Dortmunder lagers.
I am also. And it's one of those things where as soon as I find the style, now I'm sort of like, ooh, I gotta let me look this out. Are you a German lager?
Yep.
Are you a German lager? Are you a Dortmund German lager?
German lager?
It's like, it's a Dortmund lager. And so, okay, so here's the other thing. While we finish our Dortmunder, and you got to tell me your numbers. What did you think of, how would you numerically describe the well-read German lager from North Brewing, do you suppose?
Well, I have to commend you also. You finally lapsed into your generic Germanic accent. You said you would. And I said eventually, of course, as we've all discovered, eventually all accents grey into the more you try to speak them, they all become Russian. Eventually, and you haven't done it yet. That was a very stereotypical German accent you stumbled upon there.
I've done a theatrical, well, not really theatrical performance, but we're doing some improv comedy one night, and I was trying to speak with a Russian accent, and I just kept trying harder and harder and harder, and it lapsed the other way. It went into German, and to this quintessential line that my friend always tells me is in a thick German accent. I was yelling, "Why am I German?" I was just so angry with the fact that I couldn't clasp onto a Russian accent. I was stuck in German.
It's weird, isn't it? It's sometimes you just fall straight into an accent and you think, oh my God, that's good. And then another people say, that's not bad. And then sometimes you think, I'm going to try now and duplicate that. And it just goes horribly wrong. And it's something the harder you try to correct it, because you know it sounds dreadful, the worse it becomes. There are some nights when like everyone tries a Christopher Walken impression occasionally.
Oh yeah,
everyone.
I think
I don't think there's a person alive that hasn't tried to do Christopher Walken. And there are some times where you just, I don't say nail it, but sometimes you can kind of stumble across it. You think that sounds good, and then you try to replicate it afterwards. And I'm going to say that phrase, Ross. There's a Goldilocks zone.
Or back to the Goldilocks zone.
You fall into when you're like, hey, I've got it. I can do it now. Don't never rest on your laurels, because Christopher Walken is one of those accents and impressions that just when you think you've got it, you can lose it just as quickly, and then afterwards it sounds horrible. Yeah. German. You asked me for my. You have asked me for to score these two beers that we have had this evening.
If you would.
Right. Well, the first one, the Erste, I want to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
They are, as I'm learning, they are two different styles of German lager.
True.
There are many different styles of German lager. Therefore, even though they're German lagers, both of them, they are different styles.
But this one does say, I am the golden one.
Yes. So fair enough. I found that very sessionable, really flavorful, and like I said, it would give the Toller Gold a run for its money if I were to be looking at a lager. And that Toller Gold, as we've established, and thank you for turning me on to that. I haven't had one for a while. Is I set my bar, I set my lager, my lighter coloured lagers at the Toller Gold level, and therefore this only falls slightly below it. 8.5 out of 10. This one, I don't know if I've had a Dortmunder before, Ross, so I've got nothing to compare it against. It's delicious. 9.5 out of 10.
Well, once you get it to me and you say this is going to be a malty, bitter, slightly darker lager in a German style, I'm like, yeah, buddy, that's all of that kind of stuff going on.
And it's so easy to drink. It's balanced. It's smooth. And it's a winner.
And a 5.5. A 5.5 will win me over. I'm sort of like, ooh, you've gone slightly above a 5.0. Do tell.
Yeah.
So the German accent thing has come up because I have been asked in a small role in an upcoming play, and and I tried this out on everybody just to see how everyone's musical theater acknowledgement and awareness is. I say, yes, I've been cast in Cabaret. And then I get, okay. Because and I think I've heard of it. I know I've heard of it, but I'd not seen it. So there's some there's actually some free versions on YouTube. And if you want to frighten yourself, then go to a 19, oh God, what was it? 80. Was it like a 1992 or a late 80s, early 90s theatrical production? It wasn't like Broadway or anything. It was a very small black box like type theater. And the main character of the narrator or the MC was played by one Alan Cumming.
Oh, interesting. A Scottish German accent.
And no, he was doing it all in a very French accent. But
French accent.
Because the whole thing it takes place in Berlin. So, but his accent was very French, and so and the opening song is, I think it's called. Is it just Welcome? Yeah,
Come to the cabaret,
Willkommen and bienvenue, welcome, and it's all 3 languages, very inviting everybody because it's the Roaring 20s in Berlin, basically is the plot, and it's all kind of. Sex and burlesque and this and yes, all of the things. And that's my French accent. And then I watched the whole thing. And I know this is moaned and bitched about quintessential musicals and what everyone says. Oh, you have to go and see this one. It's iconic musical, and I was in the first iconic musical I think I ever saw. No, wait. I think as a youngster, I watched both My Fair Lady. We watched Fiddler on the Roof, and then my stepdad he really enjoyed West Side Story, which I thought was. I was like, okay, so it's Grease, but worse.
Well, yeah. Fiddler on the Roof. 10 out of 10.
I love Fiddler.
My Fair Lady is 11 out of 10. It's my favorite musical of all time.
Same with me. And then so I answered the call to an email and down the road, and we performed Oklahoma, and we were halfway through performing Oklahoma, and I'm looking around saying, this isn't good. Like, the music is clunky. It's poorly written. It's kind of terrible. Like, what is this? It's Americana. It's such this. It's such amazing this and that. I'm like, okay, but it's also kind of bad. And then the more
correct me if I'm wrong. But I've not seen Cabaret. But am I correct in assuming that the movie, the Liza Minnelli movie, and I guess the way it's done is that the accents are over the top again. So when they're in the movie, when someone is supposed to be speaking with a German accent, they are saying, "Come to the cabaret, oh, life is like." They put the Z in where the TH should be, etc. So it's completely over the top.
I've only seen bits and pieces. I mean to watch the Liza Minnelli one, because the live version that I watched. So Alan Cumming is up there saying, "Ladies and gentlemen," and it's all very French, and welcome to our house, and this is the Kit Kat Club. It's the most famous club in the 1920s in Berlin. And he's Berlin, so he's rasping the French out of everything. And then my favorite, so it goes from him. It's this over-the-top French guy, and he's introducing you to their Berlin, come in, look at our women, look, they're all virgins, just ask me, I can prove it. And it's very racy for the very first scene, like, you know what you've stepped in immediately. But then it moves to this guy who's just arrived. He's a writer, and he's American, so he's, "Hello, I'm the American, my name is, I don't know, Chester, or something. I forget the guy's name, I think it's Clive." And so he's arrived, but then he meets this British girl who works at the Kit Kat Club, and her name is Sally, and her accent is when I do the accent, you will have a name for it. So I just need you to be ready for this particular British accent, which I call overtly British. It is someone trying very hard to have a British accent. So she comes in, and she says, "Oh, Clive, oh, you've poured me a drink, have you? Well, thank you. It's awfully proper of you to pour me a lovely drink. It's very second half My Fair Lady, Liza Doolittle, where she's talking awfully properly at all times.
Is that Sally Bowes? Is she supposed to be English?
In the version that I watched, yes. And now I know you're thinking back, because I've watched clips of the Liza Minnelli one, and she didn't even attempt. There was no attempt at an accent at any point whatsoever. So I'm very curious where we're going.
She's just New York, I think.
Yeah. She was just "Hi guys," and she was basically Liza Minnelli in Berlin.
Oh, so maybe not New York, but
in the 1920s.
Well, I'll be damned. I haven't. I should watch it.
This all comes back to, they've asked me to be a small role of Max, the club owner, who happens to be a German guy, and I think I've got a couple of lines in the whole play. In fact, I can't really look them up fairly quickly right now. And I'm going through ways of doing it in my head, and I think I've landed on the not over the top German/Nazi accent, but have we talked about The Great Escape? I think we have. Do you remember the commander of the prison camp? You know, the kind of over his head dude.
I've seen it several times.
He just had
not,
a very...
not been for many years.
Yeah, you know. Herr Bartlett. Yeah, come in. We can quickly talk, and yeah, that'll be fine. And just the subtlety too, and it's probably going to be over the top because if I try to do subtlety, it's going to be over the top. The huge and obvious and subtle is my go-to.
Well, that wasn't bad actually, Ross. That sounded. If you were to say to me, if you were to say, listen to this accent, and I'm not going to tell you where it's from. Afterwards, where do you think that was from? I would have gone for German.
Okay.
So I would totally have gone, especially when you said Herr Bartlett. It kind of gave it away a little bit. But even
Herr
without
Bartlett.
that, I would totally have gone for German. So you've nailed it. Your German accent is highly authentic.
And I'm so bad at pronouncing things in German is the problem. Oh goodness, I've lost all kinds of connectivity and whatnot. Where the occasional sentence, and I've tried saying sentences to someone who's actually from German, and I've heard German accents, and they're very different. So I think I'm just japing a subtle German accent that a British actor puts on in the 1960s. That's my go-to. That's where I want it to be, just a little bit German, but still hold a little bit of a British accent. It's like, hello, but I also may be from a little bit of the East German. Thank you for joining us here today. And that brings us all the way back to several of the German accents that I've enjoyed and studied. Where's our guy? From our the Christian. What was the five
movies?
Yes, from Inglourious Bastards.
Michael Fassbender.
No,
He's an Englishman and puts on.
He got in trouble because he wasn't speaking German. No, he wasn't signing German properly. No, it was the other guy. It was famous Austrians. Because he was
Christoph Waltz.
Yes, Christoph Waltz.
Yeah,
and his accent was just a little bit more subtle. It was a British accent, but with a little niche of the German.
There was no British accent in there. He was a German that was speaking very, very good English with a German accent.
Yeah, but there was the English that he was speaking was very proper. Now I have to wrap my mind around what if someone from Germany landed in Texas and had to learn just Southern grammar and vernacular, but with their German accent. Y'all are coming to the rodeo, yeah? Will Rob these varmints yet? Yes.
I've got a finger of the golden stuff.
Oh, it's true.
I love this because there's a bit of light on it still because it's getting dark and the mosquitoes have replaced the houseflies and they're all over me.
I'm sorry. I keep prattling on, but it is late. I'm quite comfortable in here.
I really like that, Ross. I covered it with the can to make sure no flies got into it because they were attacking it.
They are both very good. I agree.
I really, really like that. And if that's still going, I have no problem in having several cans of that. It's really sessionable. But the Dortmunder takes it by a gnat's whisker. Just because it's got a maltier backbone that and it is sweet. I'm surprised I'm not surprised because it's sweeter because it's maltier. I'm just surprised that
I wonder
that I've never even heard of a Dortmunder lager in the first place, but I'm coming to that very late. That's so good. And it's a real shame that this other one, I feel like I should still drink it even though it's gone off because it's been there waiting. Nah, I can't. I have to pour it away. It's gone. It's a real shame.
It's not gross. It's just got that Got that tomato.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you noticed the
Yeah.
tomato flavor to it by now.
I did. I totally did. I smelt
That's
it too
cool.
as soon as I cracked it open. And on that, I'm out of here, mate. I'll leave you to it.
Welcome, bienvenue, welcome. So anyway, yeah, come and see Cabaret up in Wolfville in the freaking November, October. When the hell is that? I think it's happening in November. And you can see me on stage for most of it. And then I say 4 things in German with a German accent. I'm trying my accent out. Thank you to Ian for being here tonight. Thank you to North Brewing and Paddy's Brew Pub for making the beers that we tasted tonight. Thank you for tuning in and listening to my sound going mostly correctly. And we're here every week, 8 to 9 p.m. at our YouTube page, youtube.com/@drinknsdry. You can find our podcast in all the podcasty places. We're also on the Instagram and the other stuff and the TikToks and the pudding pops and the brain damage, and suddenly I've fallen into the Cosby. And other than that, you can go to directly to the source at drinkns.unsupervised.beer. But we'll be back here next week, so